Well,
We don't know what she would
torture
do
for me.
if she actually did a show sober.
oof, that's a feat in itself.
You talking about me?
Absolutely. I want you watching the show right now. If you're streaming us live on Twitch or Facebook or YouTube, or if you're watching on demand, think about your pet peeves. Think about what really bothers you day to day, because we're going to talk about that in the second half of the show. In the meantime, though, yeah, I saw what you were doing there, Liz. Yeah, and I ignored you. Well, until I acknowledged it. I am Bo Lightning. She is Lindsay. How are you, Queen?
I'm doing fantastically.
Excellent. That's good to hear. And Dvon the Mean, who's causing issues on the internet.
Man, listen. It ain't that funny, Lindsay. Listen, as far as I'm concerned, these people need to get a life. Listen, no one bashed anybody. No one said anything bad. I made a point which was very relevant, and I was on my own show talking to you two and whoever listened to, the show. I made a statement. I said, hey, they like to write about bad stuff. They like to write about things that, and then when I say they, I mean the dirt sheets. They like to write about things that doesn't necessarily put anything in a positive light for some people. And it's a known fact. Listen, I'm not the only one that thinks that way. Anybody during the Attitude Era, anybody who's ever been in this business will say that about the dirt sheet writers. So, and I'm not trying to bash them, but my sense is this, and I made this perfectly clear. My mother, who had COVID and basically beat it and survived with all these COVID cases and people dying left and right, that once wasn't mentioned. Again, except for one guy who watched the show and actually put it on there and said, I'm so happy to hear that Dvon's mom basically beat COVID and made it. As far as I'm concerned, whether she's your mother or not, that's worthy enough news to talk about when you talk about me. So I got pissed, and not to mention the comment that when I did the interview with these group of guys overseas, and I said, I was infatuated with Stephanie McMahon. No, I'm not infatuated with Stephanie McMahon. I admire Stephanie McMahon. I think she's a great person inside and out. She's cunning, she's stunning, and she's witty. And the one thing I said, and I've said to her too, I said, Stephanie, I said, the one thing I always say about you, all those things I just said, I said, but don't piss her off. I said, because you don't want to be pissed off, and you don't want Stephanie McMahon pissed at you. I say, have you seen her in the ring when she gives those left and right hands? Like she gave Roman like 5 or 6 slaps, and I remember watching it from the back, going, "Oh my god," because Stephanie can really throw those punches, and me and her laughed about it and the whole nine. But no one said I was in love with her or I wanted to marry her. She's happily married with Triple H. That's one, and I'm happily married with my wife and my kids. No one's even remotely talking about that. So that pissed me off.
I'll talk about that. I'm in love with her. I would marry. But that's fine. Keep going.
Hold on. I guarantee you, they don't care if you say it. But they care if I
They don't care about you, Mo. They don't care.
No. Yeah.
They don't care about me. That's fine.
So I looked in the camera at both of you and I said, hey, what if I went to everybody and said, hey, I'm coming out the closet. I'm announcing that I'm gay and I'm going to be on RuPaul's Drag Queen show. I mean, would that make worthy news? That's all I said. Nobody bashed anybody. No one said anything derogatory or anything. And all of a sudden, you get all of this stuff with these people talking about, I can't believe he said that, using our platform ain't nobody using your platform for nothing. Take your panties out of your ass. Somebody calling me.
Are you getting us in trouble already?
Yeah, I think so.
We're 4 minutes into the show.
I know. I'm like, listen, get your panties out of your behind and freaking stop. No one ousted out anybody or ousted out anything, and all of a sudden now, blah blah blah. You can't use us as a public platform for our rights. You don't know what we went through. Nobody said that. Listen, I got friends who are gay. Number one, my brother who is gay. Number two, and I told some of my friends and my brother, and they both laughed at it. They thought it was hysterical, and I thought it was hysterical too, in a sense of, you get mad over me saying that? Come on, seriously? It's ridiculous, man. And listen, I'm going to say this. This is my effing show. I'm a reverend now. I can't say it. I said, but this is my effing show. Okay, me, you, Lindsay, and Mo can say whatever we want to say on our show. It's freedom of speech, First Amendment. Okay, listen, Twitter ain't gonna stop us or what have you in terms of we ain't saying nothing bad or we ain't saying nothing out of place or degrading anybody. So for all you sensitive people, y'all can go to hell. How about you print that one? I guess that's gonna make. I guess that's gonna make. I guess that's gonna make it too. Dvon said everybody can go to hell. I didn't say everybody.
Reverend
I
Dvon.
Reverend Dvon.
Testify.
Yes, I didn't say. I didn't say everybody go to hell. I said you idiots that sit up there and like to prolong all of this crap. Y'all can go to hell,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Okay, that's it, right? Okay.
That's it.
Well, with that said,
Move
let's
on.
bring in somebody who knows you, see if he's familiar with your rants and your raving that you'd like to do. A guy used to travel with you, formerly of WWE. He was in the Nexus, worked with Bob Backlund. Recently saw him in New Japan Wrestling. He
Yes.
is, Mr. No Days Off, Darren Young.
What's up, Darren?
Welcome.
Dvon,
Talk to me.
Dvon, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Hmm.
Are you ready to tell the world about you and I?
Listen, I would, Darren. I've been trying to tell the world about you and I since day one.
You and I, we got a
nobody will listen.
relationship, you know. Let's create that soundbite and let the world know that Dvon Duntley and Mr. No Days Off, the suntan Superman, have a personal relationship. Let the world know, 2021, baby.
Testify, my brother.
So
No, but seriously, thanks for having me on. I always say, don't die with the story and you tell it. So however I can share my story and vibe with you, Dvon, I'm going to do it.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you very much, and it was an honor and pleasure. You know, when I called Darren, I said, "Hey, listen, we would love you on the show," and he says, "Absolutely." Not a problem. You know, it was never, oh, let me think about it. You know, and that's the way me and Darren has been. You know, we've always
Yes.
been that way. He's called me and asked me, so I not a problem. You know, we've taken pictures together at the what do you call it, at the signings and things like that. And you said, hey, I'm doing something for my social media. Would you do it? Absolutely. And vice versa. We rode together. You know, he's always been the referee between me and other people in the car. You know, so I love Darren, man. He's a great guy, man, and he's been a friend. And you know, and I always say this to guys like Darren and his group of the new guys that came in after the Attitude Era. I said it was an honor and a pleasure for him and a lot of the guys that he came up with to accept an old man like me coming back after 10 years, you know, trying to get back in that ring and do things. And, you know, Darren took care of me. He protected me, didn't hurt me. I can't say the same for Travis. I mean, not Travis, Titus.
Yeah.
Titus beat the hell out of me, man. Good God. But I used to always tell Darren, I was like, please don't tag Titus. Please don't tag Titus. He hurts me. Don't tag Titus. But Darren, with that damn laugh, he would be like, sorry, Dvon, we got to go home. Make the tag. And Titus would come in and it would be all over.
You know, Dvon, the one thing I always say I learned about Titus is a businessman. The most intimidating thing about Vince McMahon is his office door. Once you get through his office door, you know, you just gotta have a game plan. And that's how Titus was. Titus would bust through his door and be like, hey boss, what you got for us on Raw? And then sometimes
Mm-hmm.
we'd have something on Raw and sometimes we would do stuff on the app at the time. So I learned how to be a businessman from Titus. Titus learned how to wrestle because when he got into the developmental system in 2009, right after I got signed, a lot of people didn't want to work with him. A lot of people didn't want to get in the ring with him. And I would always be the first one there and the last one to leave working with Titus in the ring, saying, you're
Mm-hmm.
6'4", 270 pounds. You don't need to do much. Just stay in the center. I'll come to you. So
Yep.
just working with Titus. I told him the same people that are shitting on you now are going to be kissing your ass years from now. And they definitely are.
Absolutely. Yep, absolutely. And not only that, but he's a great advocate for going around for children and his community and things like that. He does so much positive things to help out the community. It's amazing. That man, listen, some wrestlers when they leave this business, sometimes they don't do well or their fame disappears and they really don't do well. But I'm going to say this: Titus is definitely one of the ones that will go far even after this business is gone. He knows how to do things like that. He knows how to keep his name going. He knows how to keep it relevant. He's a very good, like Darren said, extremely good businessman. And I take my hat off to Titus.
And
I just don't
Dvon,
want to. I just don't want to take a right hand from him, but I'll take my hat off.
and Dvon, the reason why we got along so well was because Titus Worldwide was Titus Worldwide. He had the hookups with the hotels
Oh
and
my God, did
the
he
football
ever?
facilities. I did all the
Yes.
driving. So I said, Titus, you take care of the hotels and renting this and getting that, and I'll do all the driving. The only rule when I drive is that you got to play relaxing R&B music. I always say there's
Yes.
a time and a place for the hippity hoppity. There's a time and a place for the hippity hoppity, but when we're driving 250, 300 miles in the city, I need relaxing R&B music. That's why I lasted so long on the roster, driving Titus around, driving Mark Henry around.
Here's the funny part about that. I didn't know that about Darren, right? So he's riding with me and Bubba, and Bubba is the metalhead. He loves the Motley Crue. Yeah, he loves all of that.
Uh-huh.
Kiss,
Oh, I love
and
everything,
then
but keep
so
going.
it so tight. So Darren basically, again, even with me and Bubba, it was me, Bubba, and Titus in the car, and Darren was like, "Listen, I'll drive." Darren always wanted to drive, and he was like, "No, Dudley's ain't driving." He goes, "Y'all, y'all have done enough driving. Let me do it." And I was just like, "Well, damn." I was like, "He done." I mean, I don't want to go to sleep, and then in the car, and then when we get to where we got to get to, I get to my hotel room, and I'm like this because I can't go to sleep. I'm like, "What the hell?" And so I was like, "All right, what the hell?" I'm getting up there. I really don't like driving at night no more, and this and that. So I was like, "Yeah, Darren, go ahead, man." So we're driving, and then all of a sudden, Darren starts playing the relaxation music, like he said. Now, me personally, I love it. I love the music because, again, I mean, I'm always in spas, getting massages, and all of that. So to me, it was relaxing. Listen, you go in the ring and have to wrestle whoever you're in the ring with, and you got to get that adrenaline going and all of that going, and blah blah blah. You're like antsy in the car. Who the hell wants to
Yes.
drive 300 miles to the next town just like this? And meanwhile, you're antsy and you're ready to knock somebody out. I need something that's going to relax me, not something that's going to go like this all day. I don't need all of that. And so Darren puts the music on, and I just remember Bubba's face. He just went, and I'm sitting up there going like this. I'm like, yeah, nice. So I get one of these, Dvon, Dvon, Dvon. And I'm like, what? He goes, can you believe what he's playing? I go, yeah, I love it. He goes, Dvon, I am not driving 300 and something miles to the next town listening to this. Oh, it was great. I absolutely loved it. Not because he got under Bubba's skin, but because of the fact that it was the relaxation music that I like, that I love. And I can swing with that because that's what I do, even when I'm home. Listen, when you got kids and all you hear is baby shark do 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 and all these and Bart and I love you, you love me. When you hear that 24/7, you lose your mind. So you need something to relax. And trust me, when Darren was playing that, I was even taking that home, trying to get my
Yeah.
kids to listen to it. So at least I could have something other than Shark and Barney and all of that other crap and the Wiggles. And I needed something different, man. Darren, I never told you, but you were my lifesaver. Thank you, my brother.
Anytime. You're an OG. You're an OG anytime.
I want to go back to you guys in the car together and how you were kind of the peacekeeper amongst strong personalities. I imagine in that industry, such emotional, a lot of ego and everything, especially with that guy down in the corner. How difficult was it for you to keep the peace?
Well, me, I'm like a red light kind of guy. When the red light's on, I turn up real quickly. But I'm a calm, cool, collected guy. I'm the only child growing up. I'm very shy, very introvert. Once we're done with this interview, I've got Zoom I've got to take care of it. And after that, I'm just completely silent. I'm okay with being by myself. So, yeah, that's just how I operate. I lasted so long because I lasted so long with WWE because I just got along with everyone in the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
I laughed at everyone's jokes. I would laugh when Titus would be in the trainer's room getting stretched, and Sheamus would literally fart in his face. And then Titus went to Mark Carano, the head of talent relations, and like complained to him like we were in elementary school. So I was just like the peacekeeper, and I just laughed at everything, you know. So that's the one thing I miss about WWE, the backstage stories, you know, the camaraderie. But life goes on. I got to keep it moving. That's why you see me. I got to bring this interview back to me, rocking my New Japan Pro Wrestling shirt. You know, it's always been a dream of mine to be with New Japan Pro Wrestling, and for me, the grind don't stop. I'm 37. I feel so alive. I make my jealous. I make my 20s jealous of my 30s, and I still have a lot left in the tank to offer. So
well,
that's the direction I'm going right now.
well, Darren, you look phenomenal. I don't think there was ever a time where you were off your game, not only in the ring, but just body wise and outside the ring as well. So kudos to what you're doing right now, my brother. But I didn't know until I was on your social media that you were in New Japan. And it's funny, I just wore my New Japan jacket. I had a doctor's appointment today, so I just wore my New Japan jacket. So I was like, wow, I said, I need to bring this back. And that's great. How is New Japan for you?
Well, Dvon, knock on wood, 2020 has been a great year for me. When it comes to sponsorships, social media is like a second job, you know. So being involved in THC, CBD, keto snack companies, using my social media, because I always say my social media is an open diary to the world. So anything I ever post always comes from the heart with the intent to inspire, motivate, and educate the masses. So on top of the sponsorships, 2020 with New Japan Pro Wrestling has been a dream come true. But how it all came about, WWE was always my goal, and my journey started with wrestling in 2002. With WWE, it started from 2003 to 2009 when I was doing extra work, and then ultimately getting signed in 2009 out of 75 guys and girls from all over the world. I earned my tryout. I earned my spot with WWE. May 4th, 2009, beating out 75 guys and girls from all over the world. The same day I got signed with WWE was the same day AJ Lee, CM Punk's wife, got signed. So that's always been my goal. But in the back of my mind, I've always been a big fan of New Japan Pro Wrestling. And fast forward to September of 2019, I ran into a show with Lance Hoyt, who at the time was with New Japan. And he asked me how I was doing, and I said, I'm doing great, but, I want to do more. I've always had goals of doing something with New Japan. I think about it daily, Dvon. And he gave me this flyer of New Japan Pro Wrestling having a show November 11th, 2019, at the Globe Theater here in LA where I live. And I went to the show. I was there. The show started, I think, 7 p.m. I got there 5 o'clock because I wanted to meet all the wrestlers. I wanted to be able to feel the ring because I've never felt a New Japan Pro Wrestling ring. It's a lot harder than a WWE ring,
Yeah.
19 plus years in the business for me, and I still get giddy. I still, again, wanted to feel the ring. And I talked to Rocky Romero in 2019, and I said, I'll do whatever I have to do to try out. If I need to come to the dojo here in LA, I'll try out. I'll do whatever it takes because, like I said, I earned my contract with WWE in 2009. So whatever it took. And fast forward to 2020, early 2020, I was involved in my first ever off-Broadway musical. So I can honestly say I'm the first WWE veteran to do an off-Broadway musical where I was singing, dancing, and that was in early 2020. Then the pandemic hit, and then Rocky Romero had reached out to me the summer of 2020 and said, hey, I had this opportunity. New Japan Strong, New Japan Pro Wrestling is doing a show, New Japan Strong, and we would like for you to be a part of it. So I had to check with my family because I had to be blessed by my family to see if this was a great opportunity because I don't want to get my family sick or anything. And ultimately, my family blessed me. I called up Rocky Romero for a second time because he kept calling me saying, hey, do you want to do this? Do you want to do this? And finally I said, Rocky, I double checked with my family. They blessed me, and the rest was history. So, I've done my thing as a group with the Nexus. I've done my thing as a tag team with Titus. I tried to do my thing as a singles wrestler with Bob Backlund, but unfortunately, those that work under Vince McMahon didn't have my back. Vince McMahon had my back. I proposed him the idea of me and Bob Backlund working together. Vince loved it. It's just unfortunate those that work under Vince McMahon didn't have my back. So finally getting this opportunity, fast forward to 2020 with New Japan. And just recently, I got Match of the Year with New Japan Pro Wrestling. It was me and Filthy Tom Lawler who had Match of the Year for New Japan Strong. So it's always been an honor and a privilege to really do bad by myself. And I'm making moves with New Japan Strong, and the best is yet to come for the suntan Superman, Mr. No Days Off, Fred Rosser.
Very good. Darren, I got two questions for you. One, I was with you with the whole Bob Backlund. I was your producer for a lot of them. And as far as I'm concerned, I felt that we did a great job. You guys did a great job. Not me, because I wasn't wrestling. But I felt like you guys did a great job. And Bob got over. There was a lot of instances where the people wanted to see him beat Bob Backlund. And so it was just one of those things where, like you said, some people did not have your back, or the people that was in his ear should have been there and they weren't. And, that's their loss. But at the same token, I look at it also as look at where you are now. Now,
Yes.
With that being said, when you do New Japan, do you fly to Japan and do the shows, or is it the one based out of LA?
Right now, we've just been doing the shows here in the States, here in LA. But my goal ultimately is to perform in Japan, because anytime with WWE from 2009 to 2017, any tour that we were on when we did Japan, I was either on a different tour or not on tour at all. So personally, it's always been a bucket list of mine to actually perform in Japan. And I'm going to do it, once things get a little better and, they take care of the stuff with the entertainment visas and all that craziness. I will ultimately go out to New Japan and perform. That is my goal. And some of the OGs like Tanahashi and Kenta and Shibata, they're all rooting for me. And just as much as I'm a fan of these guys, they're a fan of me and they're rooting for me. And I talk to all of them individually, and they all have the same story about the New Japan Pro Wrestling crowd really liking what I'm doing. And it's just such an honor, because I've never got that kind of honor personally, Match of the Year with New Japan Strong. So to be able to have that honor means the world to me. So I just got to keep that momentum going. And with this whole pandemic, I've just been trying to stay in shape, very mindful of my mobility. I don't lift heavy anymore. For me, it's just all kettlebell work and TRX and trying to strengthen my core and all that stuff. So I always say health is wealth. So, I just got to stay in shape because I stay ready, so I ain't got to get ready. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's great, man. And do me a favor, when you do have the opportunity to go back, when you go over there to Japan, please tell those guys that you mentioned I said hello. And I always said this: if I didn't have kids and wasn't married, I would basically finish my career in Japan. That's how much I loved it out there. Now, when I first started out there, understand, here it is, a black kid from the projects and born in Brooklyn, New York. I never knew anything outside of New York, So now all of a sudden I go to ECW and I go to Japan, and it's like a culture shock, especially when it comes to the food. I'm just like, what the hell? No. And I don't eat seafood or anything like that. So I'm like, oh my God. So I was eating those little those rice with the tuna inside with the
Yes.
seaweed wrapped around it. And I remember Bubba and Paul Heyman and Tommy Dreamer. I was like, what is this green stuff wrapped around here? And they said, oh, don't worry, it's part of the tuna. So I was like, oh, all right, not a problem. Then I found out later on it was seaweed. I was like, oh, I was sick to my stomach. I remember telling Paul Heyman,
So good for you.
oh my God, I remember telling Paul Heyman, listen, I don't want to come back to Japan. I'm done. I'm finished. I don't want to come here. And then we left in 2005, WWE, and then came out on our own, not with any major company. We came out on our own. We did New Japan and All Japan, and I wound up falling in love with Japan. I got used to the culture. I learned how to eat out there, the whole nine. I love it out there. And I'm so envious of you right now because I know how much fun you're going to be having with that company. Because I'm going to tell you right now, next to ECW, New Japan was probably the greatest promotion I had ever worked for. They gave everybody respect. They treated everybody the way they should have, and they took care of the boys. I love New Japan. Love them, love them, love them. Love them. Kudos to you, Dan, for getting that gig. I mean, the best of luck to you, my brother.
Well, Devon, not only do I like the food and the culture, my ex of almost 5 years was Filipino and Puerto Rican, so I have a
Oh,
thing for
okay.
Asians, So if I can find love out there, I mean, don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. I have a thing for Asians.
Well,
But
Darren,
if
hold on.
I,
Darren, you gotta be careful because the sheet writers apparently they hang on every word I say, so they might find out and tell everybody. I'm telling you right now, the proclamation that you made about you and I with our relationship, oh, that's gonna be all over. That's gonna trend tomorrow. I'm just letting you know that
let
right
it,
now, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay. So just so the sheet writers would know, I'm
Until
okay
my
with that.
notifications blow up with all the
Devon, when I
Mhm,
came out publicly to the company, I thought they were forcing media training on me, and
mhm,
once I did media training, it actually prepared me. It actually helped me become a better storyteller, because at the
mhm.
time when I came out, I was like the WWE, you're not going to censor me. I'm going to say whatever I want. I'm free. I'm free. But when I had that media training, it helped me become a better storyteller. It helped me make interviews about me, myself, and I. For example, if you would have asked me months ago about our president, I would have said, unfortunately, I can't control what our president does. I can only control what I do. And every time my feet touch the ground, someone in the community, the LGBTQ community, or anyone that gets bullied into silence is counting on me. So you see how I direct that right back to me. So there's no such thing as a dumb question or a clickbait question for me because I just know how to make interviews about myself.
There you go. And sometimes that's the route you gotta go.
Yeah,
That
and
How
I
really
said
long?
to
is.
you earlier, I said, I'm sorry to cut you off. I said to you earlier, if they don't know you personally, don't take it personally. A lot of these
Mm-hmm.
That's
people
true.
that want the clickbait and stuff like that, they want to set us up for failure. They don't know you personally. We know each
Exactly.
other. If they're
Yep.
talking about you, just let them talk about you.
Mm-hmm.
Stephanie, Triple H, the WWE family, the ins and outs, they all know where your heart is.
Exactly. And that's what I care about. So all these idiots that are on Twitter or anywhere else that saying crap, like I tell them, they can all go to hell. I don't give a damn. My friends are my friends and they know me. They know I would
Yeah.
never do anything like that. So thank you, Darren, for that. I appreciate it. But now it's going to be like, oh, Dvon had Darren on there because to clear his name. No, I didn't have Darren on here to clear my name. Me and Darren talked about this
Huh?
weeks
No,
prior
it's
to
fine.
him coming on the show.
Yes.
So
Yes.
again, for all you negative people out there, go to hell. Okay,
Yes. I
go to
got your
hell.
back.
There
Absolutely.
you go. Hell, you better have my back if we in a relationship. You better stop.
I mean,
Yeah. How long into your training or into the process was this media training?
Media training. I came out 2013. I don't really know off the top of my head, um, but I just remember having the media training, and it was the best thing that I ever did. Like I said, it helped me become a better storyteller.
Okay. The reason I ask is because I used to be like the WWE guy for Wizard World Comic Con. So whenever
Mm,
a WWE superstar was at a location, I was the host of their panel, their Q&A. And I got to really know Paige during this time, who was brand new to the company
mm.
and would often mention at the panels or Q&As that, well, they want me to take media training. I don't feel like it. And the WWE rep would always have her face in her hand every single panel because, well, it's Paige, so you never know what to expect.
Even back then, Paige did what she wanted to do. and said what she wanted to say. And that's one of the things I love about Paige and Darren. They're real. We do have real people in the company, just like we have fake people in the company too, and we do, but we have real people in the company. Paige was one of the real people, and so was Darren. And again, we talk about Titus. Titus was one of the real people, and I can go on. There's a list of names I can go on and on about that are real, but it's the phony ones that I can't stand. The phony ones that talk crap behind your back, but then smile in your face and pretend like they're going to be nice to you or they like you. Those are the ones I don't like.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, we've had a couple questions come in from our viewers, and we won't do the whole thing verbatim, but Jeff wants to know, Darren, the Nexus, who is your favorite individual to work with?
Heath Slater. And I have my own podcast. I have my own podcast myself. I always say, for me, Dvon, for me doing my podcast, Pro and Bro Wrestling, it's like therapy for me. I don't do it for the numbers. I do it because I do it with my real life neighbor, and it actually helps me become a better storyteller and just to talk more, because I was always, I'm not afraid to admit, I was afraid of the mic because I wasn't comfortable with myself. I wasn't out publicly. And even with Titus, when I was out, he would always dominate. He would always switch it up. So it was tough for me to kind of just be myself with Titus. I still had fun and everything, but he was always a dominant one on the mic. Me right now at 37, I feel comfortable with how I talk. I embrace with how I talk. But that's why I do the podcast. And I had Heath Slater, the first Nexus member, on my podcast. Eventually, I want to have each member of the Nexus on my podcast, Pro Wrestling. But Heath was the first guy that we had on. And I was always close with Heath. I'd always get on him. I love him to death, but there would be times when we would drive together in the car and he would lose my lighter. And I would want to, want to murder him. You know what I mean? Literally murder him. And then eventually we would find the lighter, because I'm not afraid to admit they would call me the medicine man with WWE, because I always had the edibles and I always had, little treats for the guys when we were on tour. And me and Heath Slater, like I said, you guys know where I'm going. We go way back.
God, Darren, I wish I would have came in a little earlier, man. Because Lord knows Dvon loves the edibles.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people can't handle it. And recently, I saw Moxley, John Moxley, and I brought up a story with him that one time I gave him an edible overseas, and he said he was pacing his hotel room back and forth, back and forth. He didn't even go down to have catering at the hotel because he was just so out of it, and I was cracking up laughing. I can't mention what show I recently saw him on, but I did see him, and I brought that up, just cracking up. So yeah, they would call me the medicine man, but no one ever knew, because again, I was a quiet guy in the locker room.
Well, you rode with me and I didn't know. I wish I would have known back then.
I was very quiet about it.
Man, come on back to WWE. I need you to give me some medicine. I need the medicine man. Come on back.
Hey, anytime, any place. I'm not signed to any organization. Ultimately, I want to get signed to New Japan Pro Wrestling, but unfortunately, if WWE were to call me back, I left on good terms. I'm not grizzled or anything. I never talk bad about WWE because I don't have any bad experiences. I do have some not so fun directions that I should have went with wrestling, but hey, I'm very happy with my experiences with WWE. You never know. WrestleMania, Tampa with some fans. The Nexus were actually supposed to come back last year, but the pandemic hit. Who knows? Maybe the Nexus can come back this year and beat up Retribution. Who knows?
Hey, that's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. I mean, one fraction after another. Listen, the original fraction, that'd be great. Taking on the newbies.
Yeah, exactly.
So you would be the veteran at this point. You'd be the old man, and they would be the young boys. I love it.
Exactly.
I love it. It turns around like that.
Yeah, never say never, and the old catchphrase, anything can happen in WWE. So
You got that right. That is the truth. And never say goodbye. It's always see you later. Because in
Yes.
WWE, everybody who swore they would never go back or ever had a problem with the company, they always wound up back in some shape or form. So there you go. Darren, thank you so much, man. I know you said you had another podcast you got to go to. Thank you so much for being on the show, man. Again, it's an honor and a privilege to have you on.
Mhm.
And I just want to let you know right now, you have my number, so I'm telling you right now, when the time is right, let me know, and I want to do your show.
Oh, anytime, anytime. I'll
I'm,
definitely reach
I'm,
out to you
I'm just,
soon.
I'm just throwing it out there. I want to do your show.
No, I
So
appreciate it. Thank you.
It'll only
yes,
cost you a couple edibles.
that's it.
Something. That's great.
My brother, you
I'm
don't say a word.
What? About what?
medicine.
That's
Oh,
great,
Edible
Darren. Listen,
medicine.
the best of luck to you and everything that's going on with you right now. And
thank
please
you.
tell your mother, tell your mom I said hi.
I
Beautiful
will.
woman, beautiful. I love his mom. So sweet.
Thank you.
I met her a few times in catering, and I'm telling you, she loves her boy just as much as her boy loves his mama. And that
Yes.
is a relationship that every son and every mother should cherish because those two, trust me, they have a real relationship, and that's really good to see. Especially, and I'm not saying anything, but in the African American community, you hear negative things a lot of times. But I can tell you right now, you will not get that with Darren Young and his mom. So please give her my best and
Yes,
love you,
Devon.
my brother. And we
Love
definitely
you
will be
too.
talking soon. And let me know, call me, text me, let me know. I want
I
to be on your
will.
show.
I will. I will. I will. Thank you, guys. Block the
My
hate,
Thank you
brother,
baby.
so
thank
Block
you.
the
much.
Block the
hate.
hate.
Black
Block
Day.
Block
the
the
hate,
hate.
brother. Block it. See you, Darren. He's a
Uh,
he's a
Good
great
stuff.
guy.
What a
Very
nice
He
good
guy.
stuff.
he's a great guy, and I said, like I said before earlier, he was one of the guys that opened the door for me and Bubba. Because listen, you got to understand nowadays in this business, the young guys that are brought up in this business, they're disrespectful, they're rude, and listen, Generation X, okay, which is my generation, the attitude era and all of that. Yes, we had attitudes, we had problems, but there was one thing I will say about my generation is that we respect those who came before us. And that's one of the problems that we have with a lot of young talent. And Darren, along with a lot of hosts of other guys, and I'm just going to name them, Drew McIntyre, Rusev, and even Sheamus, they always had respect for the older talent that came in and always wanted to pick out brains. And it was great being in the locker room with those guys. It really was.
That's what I heard there. Get off my lawn. That's
He just basically said he was old. It's great.
Oh no, listen, I'm
Mhm.
okay with that because you got to understand where I came from. A lot of people never got to my age. They were either dead or in jail or what have you.
Hmm.
So
that's true.
I'm very privileged and honored to be able to say I'm proud. People ask me how old I am. I tell them 65, 70. And the
I
reason
knew
why
it.
the reason why I say that, they go, damn, you look good for your age. I'm like, I know, don't I?
I kind of have a feeling that the dirt sheets are going to pick that up. That Dvon lies to his fans.
About his
About
age.
my age.
Yeah,
Either that or be front news, Darren and Dvon. I'm like, an item, and I'm like, really, you can't get any lower than that to try to degrade that type of thing. It's just
It's pretty sweet,
ridiculous.
actually.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean,
Guys.
look at it. It turns Lindsay
Real
on,
cute.
and it
No,
gets her.
I'm just,
Oh,
it gives me like warm fuzzies. It's
you
so
better
nice.
stop. You're gonna get me and
I
Darren
just
in
love
trouble.
new love. It's just,
Oh, you're gonna get me and Darren both in trouble with our significant others. I'm gonna get
what's
shot. I'm gonna get shot and cut.
really?
I
Oh,
don't think Lindsay will cause that though.
don't. Not
Well, you
me.
never know. You
Not
never know.
me.
Well, she go online, listen, Darren and Devon and blah blah blah. And the next thing you know, I'd be like, "What the hell did you say?" She didn't say anything. She was joking. It was a joke. She was like, "No, it wasn't."
I was joking.
I was joking. It's like now I feel like nowadays you got to say it. Oh, I was joking. It was a
Just
joke.
kidding.
I
Hmm.
didn't mean it. Nowadays, I feel like you got to say it because the way people are nowadays. I mean, again, I know we talk. We got other things we're going to discuss, but real quick, and I'm not going to spend all day. It's just that I'm so tired of these pampered
Drinking.
wussies nowadays. They're wussies. Come on, man. You could have never survived in the 80s and the 90s the way pop culture was back then. Every little thing. Like, for instance, you get like we were talking about it earlier on the pre-show, how Eddie Murphy, in his dialogue in Eddie Murphy's Raw, he said some things that today you can't say now, which is why I'm very skeptical on Eddie Murphy doing this new thing for Netflix, because he can't do what he used to do. He can, but there's going to be a price to pay, and you really shouldn't. Listen, he made us all as kids laugh our asses off. He had the whole world in stitches. So now all of a sudden he can't say what he wants to say because everybody's so damn sensitive. Man, please kiss my ass with that bullshit.
If you're just tuning in streaming and you're kind of wondering what this is, a couple of weeks ago, Dvon wanted to show that the dirt sheets don't pay the best attention at times. Not all of them, not all the websites, of course,
no,
but specific ones.
There's one that I particularly like, and it's onewrestling.com. And they're actually good people. I actually know them. So they're actually good, and they do report things. They make sure they get, they make sure they get the facts before they actually put it out there, which is good. They don't just do it just to do it to get people to say, "Oh my God, you got to go to this dirt sheet to see this and this and that." They actually do it for real. So thank you guys.
Yeah, and we got some friends at Wrestling Inc. that look out for us as well. So there are good sites out there as well.
Absolutely, there are.
But he wanted to talk about people taking things out of context and made a joke about coming out as gay and how the dirt sheets won't cover that. Or they will cover that, and then they won't cover his mom recovering from COVID. They pick and choose their battles. And because of that, one website picked this up, to my knowledge, then maybe some other pockets did. But all of a sudden, the offended parties started coming in, and the notifications started blowing up saying that we were making light of him coming out or whatever the case is, when that wasn't the case at all. But but I like what you're saying, though, that times have changed and people are very sensitive, because if we can't joke about this one thing, we can't joke about something else because somebody else will be offended by it. What offends me probably doesn't offend Lindsay, or something
that you would say that.
Me, same for you. Where, like, at that point, you can't joke about anything then.
Exactly. I mean, like I said, our generation, and I'm going to say our generation, loved, what did that say?
Dvon offends me by claiming he's retired when we all know he's coming back.
Who was that? Nathan? Oh, Nathan. I don't have my glasses, so it's hard for me to read it. I don't know. I just feel, like I said, our generation enjoyed watching Eddie Murphy's Raw, Eddie Murphy's Delirious, and all the other movies that had questionable things like nowadays that you would put in movies and comedies, where we just enjoyed it. We didn't get all in our panties in a bunch and this and that. We sat there, we liked it, we watched it, we laughed. And if we didn't like it and if we felt offended to it, then we turned the channel. We didn't look at it. Or we didn't pay the $10 to $12 to the movie theater to go see it. But nowadays, everybody got to hide behind their computers, type their little bullshit, and then, oh, I said that to him, and I said that, and blah, 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 blah. I made a point. Yeah, okay. Listen, I have a wrestling school in Winter Park. Come on down in the ring. If you wanna discuss something, we can discuss it there. If not, shut up.
That's right.
There you go.
Even with my health issues.
Yep. There you go. If somebody please take him up on this offer, because I want to see him throw down again. But this kind of sounds like a pet peeve. We're going to get to that in a moment. I wanted to give you a very fun fact that I came across at random this week, Dvon, that I know you will appreciate.
Let's hear it.
All right. So Dvon is a huge Michael Jackson fan.
Oh, yes. He's supposed to tell me.
Look at him. He's like, oh, yep.
Yes. Yes, I am.
Yeah.
I love Michael.
Let's listen. What are you talking about?
All right. So we all know, we've all heard at least, that there was one day on a commercial shoot, Michael Jackson caught on fire.
Right. The Pepsi commercial.
The Pepsi commercial where the hair caught on fire.
Yeah.
Somebody counted the days. That was literally the halfway point of his life.
Really?
Yep. He had lived 9,282 days.
What?
before his hair caught on fire, and then passed away 9,281 days after that.
Holy cow! Somebody really?
What?
Yep.
Somebody did all that math?
Who does these statistics?
I don't know, but I'll be happy to share them.
Good God!
The halfway point, the hair fire.
That's insane.
And he was a megastar even before the Pepsi commercial. That's the crazy thing. He was already a megastar before he even got halfway past his life. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. I wish I could have that. Well, no, I don't. Be careful what you wish for. Hold on. Knock on wood. Ain't no way, because I could not fathom not being able to go anywhere. Someone
Or very curious, because now I want to know what the
And
halfway
really
point
good
of my
at
life is.
math and numbers.
I just want to know who the person that sat there and calculated all of this and figured it out.
Maybe it's not that bad. 12 months, a year. Like, you could 365 days.
Yeah.
I guess it's not that bad of math. I'm just
Yeah.
lazy.
Exactly. I think a lot of us are lazy and don't want to freaking do that type of math to figure that out. But then you have the brainiacs out there that do, and thank God for them. Now, I'm wondering if anybody can come up with my wins and losses of what I had. I guarantee you my wins would be very low compared to my losses, because I always told people, I said the Dudley Boys had a percentage rating of wins and loss very, very low, but we always got ourselves over in the ring, as well as the talent we were in there with. And anytime we got beat, it was never, oh, you lost. It was like, great match, because we always told the story. We always made it entertaining, and that was the difference. When you can make people forget about your wins and losses, that's when you know you've come a long way in this business. And that's exactly what me and Bubba did every freaking week. We made sure people didn't look at it that way.
Now let me ask you this: who took the fall more often, you or Bubba?
I would say I did.
Okay, all right.
that was Bubba manipulating, going, so Dvon, we're gonna have him go over on you. Okay, no, why don't you do it? And then Bubba would be like, well, Dvon, the reason why is because it's so much better if we do the spot this way. Don't you agree? I like the spot doing it this way, but I don't like getting pinned in the process of it. Bubba, that was the one thing I used to laugh about with Bubba, because he always knew how to do that. And some might call it manipulation or what have you, but he always knew how to convince me, Dvon, lay down. Damn. Here we go again. My win-loss record will not be good after this one.
Oh, my brother, testify.
Oh, I was always testifying.
Nathan does bring up a good point on this one, though, that if you count up all of Michael Jackson's days lived, and then you find the middle day there, looked it up, just so happened to be that day. So, maybe it's easier to do it that way.
No,
But
that's
it's still
another way.
interesting that was his halfway point in life.
Yeah, it really was.
Who would have thought?
The biggest mega pop star ever to grace the earth.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great. That's really cool.
Yeah. I figured you would like that. And last segment I have here would be, of course, pet peeves. Somebody decided they were going to crunch numbers, look at Google searches, all this stuff, to figure out state by state what people are, or at least Americans, what we're most annoyed by, the little pet peeves in life. And I'll tell you, your state, and my state all agree.
Oh, wow, really?
We're not number one, though. Our states, anyway, all pick number 3. But if you had to pick one pet peeve above everything else that bothers you, what would that something be? Lindsay, do you know what
You're going to pick me first.
Well, if you want, I can go first.
Okay, you go first. I got to think about it.
But then when I'm done, remember, you have to come up with your own pet peeve. So we go dun 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 dun.
Okay. You
Dun,
go.
dun, 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 dun.
My pet peeve is when Dvon sings.
Wait a minute. I was nice enough to sing for you on your birthday, leave you a nice voicemail, and that's the credit I get. Wow.
Yes,
I am
it is.
truly hurt. I am
Sorry.
hurt. I am hurt.
I'm sorry. I can't help what annoys me.
Wow, Lindsay.
She's vicious today.
I'm telling you, I feel like Roddy Dangerfield. I get no respect.
No respect at all.
Means I love you. Come on. You know it.
No, but I think one of my pet peeves is I tell Taylor all the time, she vacuums the floor, and you got to undo the cord so it can reach certain places. And then when she's done, she just leaves it. Like she doesn't recoil the cord up. She just leaves it right there. And I'm like, hello. I'm like, that bothers me to no end.
No, does she put the vacuum cleaner away with the
No,
cord out, or she just leaves it, the
no,
whole thing in the
just
middle of the floor?
leaves it right there.
I mean,
Or my kids, and Lindsay might
at least
be
she vacuumed.
Oh yeah, great. Well, I think Lindsay can agree with me on this. How about when your kids walk past something, see it on the floor, and don't pick it up or throw it in the garbage when it's supposed to be
Especially when they look
picked
at
up?
it, they
Yeah.
acknowledge it, and they keep walking,
And
and
then they
you're
keep
like,
walking. Hello, do
Yeah.
you not live here?
or they step
Hello?
over it
Yes.
just to keep going.
Yes, just to keep going. I'm like, really?
Mhm.
Just as much as you took to step over it, you could have bent down, pick it up, and at least put it on the
Exactly.
counter.
I pay for you to live here. Just pick
Mhm.
up your stuff.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's right.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
All right, Lindsay, what are you picking?
Okay, I don't like when people are rude. It's just mean to me, and I don't like it.
Okay.
hmm
I
And
like
also
that.
really slow drivers. Come on. Just drive this.
Get out of the lane. Move over.
Get
Oh,
out of
wait
the
a
lane.
minute. Wait a minute. What about if it's grandma?
She can still go in the slow lane. She doesn't
Yeah,
have
but you
to.
don't. You really want grandma to go? If the speed limit is 70, you really want her to go 70 miles an hour?
Listen, my grandma lived in Miami, so I'm used to her being fast. She was up until the day she couldn't drive anymore. She was 80 everywhere.
She doesn't have to go 70, but she doesn't need to be in that lane either. So get over.
Exactly.
Okay,
Get over her, grandma.
Well, what about the middle lane? You could be in the middle lane.
Where I live, there are no middle lanes. We're just
There's
little-
not even pavement where she is.
There is not.
Yeah.
I don't even have a
Roads
car.
and horse trails.
I have
Yeah.
horse and a buggy
For all the listeners,
and a sled dog.
For all the listeners, Lindsay lives in like Texas Chainsaw Massacre land.
Mhm.
Like there's nothing around her, nothing there, but people with chainsaws and masks ready to cut up people that enter.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's
True.
crazy.
We actually had coyotes the other night wake us up, like right outside my window. They
Really?
were attacking my horses attached to my horse-drawn carriage. Yeah.
I don't.
Wait.
I believe not all of that is true. There's a
Okay,
part
I
of
didn't
that.
have coyotes. I was lying
Maybe.
about the coyotes. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
See what happens when you let a drink on the air, Mo? It's not right.
I can't stop her.
It's just water.
It ain't water.
You don't know me.
Yes, I do.
No, it's water that God turned into wine. Water into wine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Start calling you Jesus number 2.
It's fine.
Noel says his pet peeve is sending into a dark house with a vicious dog waiting for him.
Oh,
Ooh.
whatever, Noel. No, you want to know the story behind that? Noel had just got done doing a job up here where I live. And so he wanted to stop by my house instead because he lives about 2.5 hours away. So what happened was I told Noel, stay at my house. Everything is good. So he goes to do that, but yet when he gets pulled up to my driveway, nobody's home. I'm not home. So he goes, dude, where are you? I go, I'll be home. I said, about a couple of hours. I was doing something. I forgot what it was. But he was like, I'm not going in your house. I was like, why? I was like, it's fine. He goes, no. He goes, it's dark, it's spooky, and I see this little dog. I see this big dog wanting to attack me. And that big, come here, Adrian. The big dog he's talking about.
Adrian.
Come here, Adrian.
Yes, we're getting a cameo. All
Oh,
right.
wow. Oh, hey, look at the room.
He doesn't read those books, by the way.
Does he know?
They're
their
just
books?
there for show. He doesn't read
Oh,
them.
what's he looking at? He's like, uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Ah, we lost your audio, Dvon.
Oh, my pet peeve is when Devon's audio goes out.
My pet peeve is when Dvon's audio is on.
There you go. I heard that, Mo. Just because you can't hear me, I can still hear you, Mo.
I'm just kidding.
It's just being funny. Just
Yeah.
kidding.
Whatever.
Whatever.
I better be cool and don't do that because then I might be making fun, as they say.
That's true.
Yes.
Whatever.
Yeah.
That's true. Byron says people that chew their food with their mouths open, sent here by the devil.
The devil himself.
So my biggest pet peeve is actually the number one voted, at least as of 2020 in the States, slow internet. Bad connection, slow
okay.
internet just bothers me. You try to stream something, and it's just like buffering, it's loading. It's bad. That was number one overall. 15 states picked that as their number one pet peeve.
Oh wow!
No patience.
Okay.
You have no patience.
No, I don't have
Slow
patience.
internet.
If I pay for good internet, I expect good internet.
Could you
Need it right now.
Could you imagine, Mo, if we go back to like the early '90s when we had the dial-up internet and all that? Could
so
you
horrible.
imagine how bad it would be when you like waiting for things to
That
come
would
up
be
and you-
terrible.
Oh my God, that'd be so bad.
Oh, yeah.
You lose
Oh.
your
Now,
mind.
come on, let's go. Come on, I want to see
And
some
then
nipple. Come on,
Somebody
let's
picks
go.
up the
Come
phone.
on.
What?
Huh?
What was that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You would lose your mind.
Yeah. So that was number one. Number two would be burping.
Really? But people burp. I mean, it's a natural thing.
I suppose it's the ones that just don't keep it to themselves, the ones that
Yeah.
have to make a production out of it. 11 states picked burping.
Oh wow!
I mean-
11 states.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
So here on the show, they got Illinois, you got North Carolina, and you got Florida. We're number three. All of our states, our biggest pet peeves are when someone else's kids won't behave themselves.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy, you don't want to
That's
meet my
God,
daughter.
yeah.
Oh. Listen, the biggest problem I'm having right now with my 2-year-old is that she won't sleep in her bed. It's getting so bad right now. It's getting real bad. And if anybody has any help, what did I say?
Mo doesn't like buffering when he's buffing the wood. Who does? I mean, come on.
And you guys wonder why I drink.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. I love it when Lindsay loses bets and, she has to wear certain things.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, you know what I'm talking about. Mo.
That's so last year. Come on.
Mo.
I don't have it queued up, Dvon.
Oh, what the heck? You should have it queued up every show.
I figured a new year, we need to make a new bet.
Oh.
So this year we're gonna have an embarrassing picture of Dvon to show. Mo.
Okay, so
You
I
don't
tell you
have it with
what.
you.
I tell you what. Why don't you think about? I mean, listen. We're gonna bet again, Lindsay.
Okay. Yeah, I know.
So you got to come up with you got to come up with something now for the loser. So come up with something for me now, so you're not thinking about it when we do actually come up with the bet, that you actually have it on cue.
Okay.
So what is it?
I don't have it right now.
You think
I need some time to think about it.
if you have
Needs to
something?
sober up is what she's saying.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll tell you what. If you have it by next week, I guarantee you, I'll have a thing we can do where
Okay.
I guarantee it.
Okay.
All right. Deal.
All right. She still don't
Rounding
have
out
it.
rounding out the list here before we wrap up the show and we start thinking about stipulations for bets that haven't even been made yet. Bragging was number 4.
No, stop it. I can do
No,
better than that. I can do
know.
better than that.
And
No,
number
I mean, don't try to
5
brag.
is similar to actually what you guys were saying, littering.
Oh, rude.
Oh, okay.
So it's similar to just looking at something, walking
Yeah.
right by it, not doing anything about it.
The trash can is right there. Why do you got to throw on the floor?
I will say
On the
this.
ground.
I do hate it. Like when you see people roll down their window and instead of waiting to throw the trash out, they just throw it out on the highway. It could be McDonald's boxes. It could be anything. And I'm like, why would you throw a bag or a carton that big out on the road? I don't get it. Why would you do that? You can't hold it and wait until you get to a trash can. That is the stupidest thing.
No, I am Nathan.
No.
I'm not trying to brag.
No, you're right. It's just
No,
they
yeah.
don't want to mess up their car though. They don't want to have to pay for some 3D detailing. You know?
Exactly. They spent all that money.
Listen, I give discounts, okay?
You don't even get it free.
Who?
You.
Well, I know I give discounts.
Oh, you give discounts.
Oh,
I give
okay.
I
discounts.
thut you said you get discounts. I'm
That's
like,
what I heard.
Well,
wow.
I mean,
You gotta
I
pay.
would hope I do. I mean, I would hope I do get a discount. I don't know. Ask Noel.
I want to know what the table talk discount would be.
Yeah.
You know, when
And
I go
if you
down
travel-
there, and I want to quote now, and then when
Okay.
you see how disgusting my car is, you're going to want to charge me more. And I'm like, no, I have it on camera. You said
Well,
this price.
Okay, well, let me just say this because you got to understand it's COVID times and things like that. So I'll knock $5 off the original price.
That's it.
Wow,
You're so generous.
$5.
That's a lot of money. You know what you can do with $5? A
Not
dollar. A dollar make you holler. I mean,
I don't need $1 to holler.
Get ready.
Oh gosh.
It's fun.
Free. Noel says free. That's
So we're being
Noel,
serious about it being
Noel,
free?
Noel,
Is that
you're-
like a
Noel, you're
Duh.
fired. You're
Of
fired.
course.
also I'm picking and choosing what Noel wrote, by the way.
I love it. He's saying, of course,
But
I'll
it's on
travel to
camera,
North Carolina
so-
and clean your
Yeah,
car for free.
Noel, you're fired.
Thanks.
Can't take it back now.
So
Anything
fired.
else before we wrap up this? We had somebody asking about next week. Let's see if I can scroll up. It was a Nathan question. Wanted to know. He wanted more details. Any elaboration on next week's show? Let's just say, Dvon, he reached out to me and said, hey, I don't know if I can watch the show live. I want to ask Dvon about TLC matches. And I'm like, maybe you should hold off a week for that.
Absolutely. Next week, there's a strong possibility that myself, along with Christian, and along with Matt Hardy, might be joining Table Talk. So, I'm trying to get in touch with other people as well, and it'll be a TLC reunion. So we'll see what happens.
Lindsay, you and I won't have to be anything other than eye candy next week.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm about to say something nice right now. She already is.
Oh,
Now, see, I just gave you that
that's
huge
so sweet.
Hold on, I just gave you that huge compliment. Now you
Mhm.
never say anything bad about me again, or my singing.
I've never said anything bad.
You said
I
about
just-
my singing.
What? What did I say?
Yeah, you know.
No,
what
I
you
didn't say
said.
anything bad. I didn't say it was bad. No,
No,
I
you
said
said it was bad.
that. No, I didn't.
My feelings are hurt. I look like my dog right now. I'm just staring into space.
Well, my feelings are hurt worse. Not trying to brag.
You don't
Not
have
trying to brag.
feelings. You don't have feelings.
I
Cold
drink my
heart.
feelings away.
This one's pretty good. If you can't come to an agreement on this show, does that mean the issue gets tabled?
Oh, stop it.
That is good.
But
I appreciate that. Casimir wants Undertaker on Table Talk. Yeah, so do I.
I would love to get Taker on this show. I
Yeah.
would love to get.
Because I want to call him out on Kung Fu fighting. That's what I want to call him out.
Oh gosh, he actually. I remember the last time I saw Taker was, of course, not this one, not when he said goodbye, but he was at the shows maybe about 2 or 3 months ago, and I brought it up. I brought that story up, and he actually remembered it.
Wow.
And he continued to tell me how much of a big fan he was of that song. But everybody was back then. You got to understand, the early 80s, mid 80s, everybody thought they were a Kung Fu master. Because remember,
Hence everybody Kung Fu fighting.
Mhm.
right. Well, remember, Saturday mornings, they used to show wrestling, then the television show Glow. And then right after that, at least in New York, but I'm taking it where Taker lived too, they
I
would
want
have
some Wild Latin.
yeah, they would have karate movies. So everybody thought they were karate, fighters back in those days. So I don't know. I think everybody did. I think everybody loved that song. Everybody want a kung fu fighting.
I just want to see Undertaker do that. I think I'm good after that. There's 2 goals in my life. One was to have Ric Flair sing me happy birthday. I've accomplished that. And 2, watch Undertaker Kung Fu fight. That's what I want to see.
close.
Is that before the eyes roll in the back of the head, or?
Whatever's best for him is fine. That's fine.
Taker's a good man. He's a very good man. He probably would do it for you.
Okay. All right. Well,
Probably
Dvon,
would.
you got the connections. So offer him that $5 discount for detailing and see if he
Tell him how generous it is.
No,
It's
no,
so
no,
generous.
No, I got to agree with Noel on this one. If Taker asked for it, he'd have to get it for free.
Okay.
Why does he get it for free?
Yeah.
You don't mess with the dead man. You don't mess with the dead man. The dead man can make you dead.
You will be a dead man.
No, she did.